Hello, everyone. Happy Mother's Day. I know the countdown didn't get to 0, but I'm excited to start today's live stream. Welcome wherever you are in the world. Thank you for joining me, whether you're live or watching the replay. It's good to see you. Hello, Willie from Germany. Happy Mother's Day. Hello, Christopher. It's good to see you. We'll take an hour and a bit today to talk about all things music. We'll start off with accordion, and then I invited my father-in-law, Ken, who's been a lifelong blues and boogie-woogie player, to join me on the piano. I'm going to join him on his piano. That's his keyboard. I've had a long time of borrowing it. Good morning. Hello, Susan, and hello, Connie and Ronald, and hello, my mom from Toronto. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, and all the aunts and sisters and grandmothers, anyone who's acting in a capacity of the ability to care and to share love. Thank you. Happy Mother's Day. Yeah, we'll do the usual. If you have questions, if it's your first time here, I monitor the chat. My eyes go down there while I'm playing and while I'm explaining. It's part education. I really love teaching, and part entertainment. I really love playing. It's usually a combination of the two. Chris, I saw a glimpse of your Hava Nagila. Lovely. I love that. Check, check. This month is klezmer month on Accordion Love. Let's do a bit of klezmer in D. Klezmer in D, if you have your accordion, lovely. See if you can anticipate the chord changes. The 3 chords that I'm going to use, I might veer off a little bit, are D, C minor, and D. D, C minor, and D, and then I might venture to the G minor as well. Have you ever done an accordion mix for Miserlou? Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. Miserlou opens up, part A of Miserlou are those 2 chords, and then the second part has a beautiful walk down, G minor, F, E flat, D. Let's play. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Colin. C sharp. Hello, Georges. Happy Mother's Day. Yeah, that's Miserlou. A lot of the D, C minor to the D. And some real interesting things happen with the right hand. Totally wrong notes. That was interesting. Yeah, thank you for joining again. Happy Mother's Day to those of you that act as mothers. Thank you. I haven't had a coffee during the live stream in a really long time. Has to do with, I'll share my Ken is gonna come, my father-in-law is gonna come to join us on the piano, and there's like 6 things that have to happen. I have to switch I have to put on some microphones. I have to turn off this microphone. Maybe I'll just talk through it. Ken's gonna bring his piano stool. I'd like to help him bring it in. I'd like to change the camera so it's not just me doing things. So I'll probably pause for 3 minutes. It's like a lot of things to remember. So I think I made the coffee to calm myself, but coffee is not a calming thing. It'll be lovely. I'm really excited to do these things live. Just a beautiful chord, E flat. Let's do a little loop in E flat. It's so rare to play in E flat. What was I hearing? That's a nice song. Anytime we use the loop pedal, it's too many things here. I actually don't know what song that is. How does it go? tried it here and it's wrong. Yeah, that was Imagine by John Lennon in a key that we don't usually play. That was an E flat, but very calming. Hello, Martina. Good to see you from Squamish. I hope puppy life is going well. It was really nice to meet you last week. Feels like it was 2 weeks ago, the Accordion Festival. Let me know if you have questions. I'm happy to answer them. Yeah. I'm gonna do the tune of the month every month. On the forum, Kyle organizes the tune of the month. He chooses from the Accordion Love library. This month, it's the Rainbow Connection from the Muppet movie. Let's play it in C major. What I want you to pay attention to is the mistakes that I make. If I try to do I'll do a thing where I reset every time I make a mistake. And I'll try and get it perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect take. For me, it's trying to express the feeling in the song. Let's try it. chords. Yeah, surprisingly few mistakes. Very lovely. In case I was performing this or recording this for performance in YouTube or even the forum, I would have had to restart with that key change. So I'm shaking my head. No, it's too much effort in a way. I want to see the sausage being made. I want to see the process, right? Susan and I were speaking on the way at breakfast that time, the over coffee. The ability to make mistakes and show it. There's this desire to show the finished product. Here's this thing I made. Here's I like analogies. Here are these pizzas that I make on Wednesday. They're perfect. What folks don't see are like the countless dough balls that had to be thrown out. I didn't invite anyone to a pizza party at our place for like the first 6 months to 8 months. I would make 10 dough balls and maybe we'd eat 3 or 4 pizzas out of those. 5 to 6 of them would usually break, and they'd have to be given to the chickens. These days the success rate is much higher. Same thing with the accordion. I think there's so much benefit as learners to see those there are mistakes in that it's not a perfect pizza, but it's learning, right? We don't get to see that in other musicians enough. You see this polished performance. Not that I try not to do polished performances. I try and present the finished. I try and present it airs and all, but really to show like, oh, there was a stumble there, but we recovered. So I wish there was more of that. I wish we got to see Astor Piazzolla, all the other takes of like, oh, his finger screwed up, let's restart. I think there's huge benefit of that because that's real life. Good. Hello, M. In that klezmer theme, have you heard of Dans Freilich by Bracht? Pretty cool song. No, Dans Freilich sounds like a cool song though. Let's listen. Maybe I've heard it, I don't know it by that name. Dans Freilich by Brach. Dans Freilich. Is it dance, like a dance, or is it Dan's, like belonging to Dan? It is Dans Freilich. Let's listen. So how does it go? In D major. Something like that? Wow. Too much. Something like that. Da 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 da. I'm not going to play it because it takes a few listens to listen to a song, but what we can start to derive is this klezmer structure. Where is Sunday? There's Sunday. If you're watching this and you're like, oh my God, Ronan is, he's heard the song before. How can he pick it up so quickly? I started this live stream by saying play along with me with klezmer because the chords are D, C minor to D, and we also throw in a G minor in there. And what we're hearing with Dan's Freilich, not Dan's Freilich, the first right away. D major, D major, C minor to the D. And what are the notes? We learned the klezmer scale, me and Susan. Okay, there's the first part of the song. Second part of the song they did some beautiful things where the chords were C minor, G minor. I believe they went to the A7 to the D7. That's a little tangent that sometimes happens with klezmer. So I'll pause there. I'm not gonna play it because it's a beautiful song and I'm sure it picks up speed. But again, we seeing the framework, it's a lot easier to paint within those boundaries than what am I doing? Is there an E flat in there? Is there an E major? No. Klezmer and D, we have D, C minor, and G minor. We might go to the A7. We actually might fall to the E flat, but those are the chords that we're playing in. Just like when Ken will come and we'll play blues, we might do like a blues in C7. Is there going to be a D major? No. I'm going to stick to the blues scale. And it will sound good, hopefully. I'll obviously use my ears too. Good. That was Dan's Freilich by Bratsch. Good. Hello, William. Good to see you. Ima, do you have a favorite song that I can play for you on the live stream? My mom watches the live stream, so does my dad. I'm just going to clear the looper. That's nice, Christopher. Christopher, I'm thinking of how to connect the song to Bella Ciao. Still in C major, I might play it in C minor. thinking of also transposing up to D minor. Hi, Joanne. Happy Mother's Day. Ken's here. So I stayed in C major. I'm gonna go help Ken with the piano stool. I'll leave the camera on for now. I'm gonna mute the microphone. We'll do a transition. Hello, Ken. Good to see you. Oh, you brought your Accordion Love shirt. I love it.
Good morning.
Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Okay. How's it going?
Steady.
It's early.
Believe me.
Let me, you can obviously keep your shoes on. I'm just gonna hide, oh, we're looping, hilarious. I'm just gonna hide us. 1 second.
Okay.
Ken's here. I'm gonna do some magic. I'm gonna get us mic'd up, make sure everything works with the cameras, and we'll see you in 3 minutes. I'll add one of those countdown timers. Okay, we're here. Let's just do a real quick. You should be able to hear us, right?
Hello there.
Yeah, you should be able to hear me and Ken.
Good morning.
I want to make sure that I could switch scenes. 1 second. Okay. There we are. There are your fingers. Okay, I believe everyone can hear us. Thanks for joining us again.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, there was great positive feedback based on your last performance, on the last thing that we did. Let's take as long as needed, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Same kind of thing. Let's talk through blues. We're switching from klezmer to blues. And let's entertain and educate. I'll join Ken on the piano after. I'd love to watch you perform again. Everything that Ken and I are doing is improvised. We might play some songs that you know, but there's no sheet music, correct?
Not today.
Yeah, not today. We're able to play songs.
I think most of it will just come out of our heads.
Yeah.
We've translated out here. I don't have any songs in mind.
Like You're My Sunshine is a thing that we might play. But the thing that we said about blues is you have 3 chords to work with. A few extras, but really what I want you to pay attention to, and what I'm going to try and do, is to play with feeling. Like Ken showed us before, there are 2 notes you can play over those chords, and it's not just... You can do that, but it's how do you do those 2 notes with feeling, which we did in the blues workshops last month. Same thing with klezmer this month. We have a scale. Let's be creative with it. So I'll mute myself because I have a tendency of really speaking a lot. Let's play a bit and we'll figure it out. And it's very early morning to play on a digital keyboard, but we'll figure it out.
gonna go to B minor.
Sure.
2A. C.
Beautiful. Cool. I don't know if folks were able to hear the accordion and piano playing together, but
It sounded really nicely.
so lovely.
It worked.
Yeah.
It was just
That was blues, boogie, and I love you were doing so many, going to the A minor, walk down to G, walk down to F, and then a full transition to like a da, 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 da,
Yeah.
like really melodic and like a ballad.
yeah. Yeah.
So cool. I mean, we could spend hours just working on that, but what I saw, what I heard were 3 or 4 things that kept recurring. If you remember from Thursday when we did it, you did this thing, that da, da, right? You called that. It's kind of like listening, actively listening to Ken. If you saw me sitting here nodding, I'm paying attention to like, oh, he just pulled that. He spoke about it, and there it is. You also did some call and responses, like if it was in C, it's like you're noodling around and then you find something that you like and you'll do that 3 or 4 times. And us as the listener, it's like, oh, okay, cool, you found something tasty
Yeah.
in there.
And what you wait for at that moment is, once you find that,
Yeah. And that's when I picked up my accordion because it sounded like he's got it. And then he repeats E, D major, C major. He's sitting there. Sometimes he goes to the B. And then back to E minor.
what you want is tension.
Yeah.
A little bit of joy, but there's quite a bit of hurt going on here.
Yeah.
And the repetitiveness.
Yes, I noticed that too. E minor to the G to the C. And then Ken's like, I'm gonna do a B minor. Yes. And I keep listening. Is it gonna go back to that E minor? Right? I'm listening to that. Or is he going to the A minor to the D? Da, 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 da. And when is he going to resolve back to that walk down from E minor to C, if ever? There it is, right?
The theme, sort of a little thematic thing that you keep returning to.
Now, this one's a little bit, as a second player, as someone who wants to accompany, I really have to be on my toes, looking at his fingers, listening for that melody. During the blues, though, it's similar, but it's a little bit more forgiving because I have 3 chords that are going to happen, and I know my safe notes. So if Ken's doing blues or boogie woogie, I know it's going to be C, F, and G, and maybe he'll stray a little bit. But I know as my right hand, if I'm going to accompany Ken on blues, my boundary is quite tight there, which is lovely. But I'm still listening for those things that Ken is doing. Right? Ba-da-da-dam. An ending is coming, right? So lots of fun stuff happening there. Should we do I'll play some lead and we'll do things?
Sure.
I'll mute the microphones. If you have questions for Ken, this song reminds me a bit of Slow Piece in the middle of the movie War Games. Good. So, can you mimic that left-hand bass with a squeeze box? Lewis fancy players can, we can work towards it. Who was showing us during the workshops? We can replicate a moving bass line on the accordion. Yes, but it requires practice. I'm gonna mute my mic. I'll let Ken deal with a left hand. We'll figure it out. That was lovely.
Well, thank you, thank you. Well, you were doing pretty good yourself there.
So so many things there. I love that Ken, in the start of the live stream, like, watch Ken, he's not doing this. And Ken goes to do a solo just with those two notes slowly, and it works so well. You omitted the feeling on purpose as a throwback to that, and I think it worked so well. And then I came in and did the same two notes with a bit of feeling, and I think it worked too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as Ken is playing, sorry, I'm trying to explain who said talking about music is like dancing about architecture, like it's missaying it, but we're talking about food. Trying to explain music with words is a little bit tough, but obviously listening to what Ken is doing, trying to mimic, trying to do those calm responses. While Ken is here, he's giving me lots of room. He's not playing lead up there, just support. And then I stepped away and I said, you go for it, Ken. And that's when his hand really took off. Yeah, people are saying it's lovely. Thank you, Susan. Awesome. Lovely. Good. People are liking it. Do you have a song you want to play? Do you want to do a You Are
I just
My...
like what I like about this. I don't know. It's just.
A 1-6-5-4. Yeah, an E major. E major, walk down to C minor, to the A, to the F sharp, to the B, the 5. Yeah, just a beautiful chord progression that so many songs are written on. But it's lovely to stumble upon those things in a chord that you don't usually play, I think, like E major, right? Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're getting to playing together, which
Just
is
a sad little ditty from
yeah.
the, just outside of Nashville.
I love that. Oh, to the F sharp.
It's sort of like, hello, Elvis. Still thinking of you. Makes me feel kinda blue. Hey. A minor.
I like that C.
Yeah.
Lovely. And so
Just one little shift.
those surprise chords, the C, they're going from the
Changes.
E to the A to the E, to the 4.
Changes the whole story.
Yeah. And what you'll see, even on even the festival I played with this whispering of stuff between musicians that we're going to the A, hit the 4, C. It's constantly happening. This this watching over. Are they sticking to that 1, 6, 4, 5, or 5, 4? And what's happening?
I recall the thrill of it all. When you, way back when, it was your turn to take a solo, or there was a song they were doing and you really didn't know it. For some reason, they expected you would know exactly where they were going. It took a little while to realize nobody knew it. And that's why we yelled to each other quietly.
Yep.
Because nobody, if you're going to you know, you don't want to hurt the other party.
Yeah, you want to support. I want to support Ken
Exactly.
if I'm doing the chords, not trick him. And if I am going to not trick him, if it is going to go unexpected, it's like directions to the restaurant. You're going to take the highway and you'll take exit 14. If we're driving, I want to give him a good heads up about exit 14, not the moment it's going to happen. So I'm like, we're going to go to the minor 6, we're going to go to the A minor right now.
We're playing in the moment here, and it's all rather spontaneous. We have some technique built up. It's in our back pocket, it's in the brain, and we tend to. You got to let the other party know what's going on a little bit.
Now, at this stage in the game, I'm assuming if I tell Ken, we'll do this because I always tell my students, if I ask your fingers to show me an F major, can you do it in the air without touching the keyboard? Like this, and then you land, and I'm assuming it will land on an F major if you were to put your hand down. Probably in your sleep, you could hit different voicings of F and
Yes.
F7. So
It
meaning,
depends where you're going, how you're gonna. You have 5 fingers, but you're only gonna hit 3 notes or together a chord. So sometimes, well, it's possible you can go this way.
if you want your pinky and fork.
Yeah,
and
that's
for-
right.
yeah.
If you're gonna start going up this way, you need to get a bit of an advantage.
Or if you want to play down here, you're probably going to use these 3,
Right.
and you have your thumb and second finger free. All this to say that we've built up the dexterity to say, Ken, D7, and your fingers are already there, able to play melody and support on
Yeah.
left and right hand.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to build up with the accordion. It's why we practice the triads and arpeggios. So if I say the song's in D minor to G minor to A, you've done those chord combinations hundreds of times, thousands of times, tens of thousands of times. Your fingers know where to go. So as I'm watching Ken and he's doing that E minor D to C, I can accompany him because my fingers have traveled those pathways before. We've danced this dance before. Still surprises out there, but we can react to them quite quickly. Good. Wonderful. Hi, Terry Freeman. Good to see you. I'll accompany you on an accordion with whatever you do. We'll see. I believe there's an echo when we play, but it should be okay. So I'm listening first, right? So far 3 chords, C, F, and G. F. I'm entering gently.
A minor. Okay, A minor. A minor.
Yeah, some beautiful themes in there, right?
Yeah.
I think if we were to, so this is an improvisation. I think if we were to perform this, we'd say like, hey Ken, there's the, right, that theme. There's the theme in A minor, that beautiful A minor to F. Da-da-dum. And we'd really sit down and say, hey, I'll do harmony, you do melody, or I'll do this. And that means Ken might do something over it. But again, that's when we start through this play. We're like, hey, a few of those sections really sounded nice. Let's work together on them. Or not. I mean, part of this is just, for me, I don't know if this is for you, there's so much breathing happening. It's gentle, it's relaxing. It's like yoga for musicians.
We give each other the opportunity to expand what we're doing and let you in on my scene.
Totally.
I present something, and you work with it, and that's when you're playing by yourself. Well, it's all. I hear it, I play it, whatever. But the moment we get somebody else, guess what? You got new ears.
Yeah.
Who can put a new picture?
That's from before, right? The A to the D. Yeah. Or now A to F. And it's funny, it's not funny. Ken hears when I'm up here. And if I'm taking that top position, Ken's supporting, right? He's cradling that melody. And then as soon as Ken does some sort of melody, I'm switching to... I'm giving him that support. We're not stepping on each other's toes too much, unless it's a harmony or whatever it is. Let me know if you have questions, those of you watching. And again, it's two separate instruments. How do we fit, right? I'm omitting my left hand, but then right now I'm like, oh, that's nice. I can do a sustained bass. And maybe Ken will hear that, and whatever it is. It's such a fun game of listening and giving and taking. And each musician you're going to play with is going to be different.
That's right.
Yeah. If I came in and I said, hey, Ken, let's do You Are My Sunshine. Ken's like, I have no idea what to do with that. I don't want to hear accordion ever again. Right? Here he's giving like, but it's like if someone takes over, I'm just listening, right? But if he's giving me a bit of a cue of like, hey, here's where you can fit in, right? So it's an invitation. Do you want to do You Are My Sunshine on keyboard? Do you feel like it?
Yeah, we haven't. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or When the Saints Go Marching In, whatever it is, some 1-4-5 song. I'll mute our microphones. That was You Are My Sunshine.
That was You Are My Sunshine. On a reasonably cloudy day.
Yeah, it's cold. My office is quite cold. You want to go back to normal
Back
piano?
to normal piano.
Bank 0-0.
Okay, thank you.
That should be normal piano.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely. Happy Mother's Day again. Piano and accordion. Let's do it. There'll be a bit of a echo. The only reason is the microphones that are on us are going to pick up the piano a millisecond too late, and so it will sound like there's a tiniest bit of delay or reverb. It's okay, we'll play it. It's okay, we'll play it. You want to do You Are My Sunshine in a different feel? I'll play accordion, you play piano. I'm sure we'll revert back to some sort of boogie woogie. Yeah, let me double check. Yeah, we have our voices. Yeah. Very nice. That was You Are My Sunshine. And again, exchange of melody and solo and playing together and stepping back. Really lovely. Lots of applause. Thank you for the suggestion, Willie. You know what's stuck in my head now? Not that. The... Right, Ken's thing that he was playing in that first song, da 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 da, a melody will get stuck, probably with you too, and it'll take weeks and months and years, and it's like, is this part of a song? Is it, and then resolve to the B minor to the F sharp? Ah, right? And eventually that's come back to that E minor, to the D, to the C, sometimes to the B, but it's just repeating like this. Yeah. And yeah, how do you remember these things, Ken? Do they just come to your fingers? Do you remember the chords, the melody?
You're playing along, you might be just doing scales. And sometimes you think in terms of thirds, but then we got to have a fourth. So we've got fours are nice.
This is +4, +4, +4, +4. And that's doing something. That's.
And so you hit. Fifths are good too.
He keeps building on the fifth. Right, so C, G, D, A, etc. Like circle of fifths.
Gives you nice tension.
And so it's noodle. You're playing around. You're giving yourself the opportunity to.
And then you've got this thing called the left hand, which is going to provide the bottom. And I'm quite heavy on bass, actually. I just.
Yeah, the groove is so much a part of you.
Which all comes from rock and roll. You know, I'm a real mean critter, but I ain't no quitter. Well, you get tired of it, and so what happens is the fingers start taking you somewhere else. Something happens up here that says to the fingers, talks to the fingers, says, let's do something else. And with a little bit of technique, that is, we have E major, we have E minor. There's an interesting thing, E minor or a minor scale, say it's C minor. Now listen.
That's just the 1 to the 4, yeah. Beautiful. You're already in another planet. You just opened up another world by just doing.
So when you do that, you think, oh, and then you've immediately forgotten what you've done. So you have to find it again. Oh yeah, that's another minor scale, actually.
We learned it as Eric Satie's Nocien #1, yeah, in a minor klezmer scale.
And you kind of hear it in music that comes out of the Mediterranean.
Yes, this Middle Eastern.
And you can hit it all at once, or you.
so lovely, and I love that. That just comes out of, you've been playing for a while, a few weeks. When water goes down the wrong pipe. It's
Sometimes.
But again, I love that. And for me, as I hear that, we're doing the klezmer unit. That's a scale that's often used in klezmer music, like you said, Mediterranean, Middle Eastern, that Arabian Nights kind of thing. Cool. Thank you, everyone. People are very thankful and happy. Let me know if you have questions for Ken. I'm happy to forward them to you. He lives nearby. Oh, we lost the camera feed, which is okay. The piano feed. Let me know if you have any questions. Happy Mother's Day. I hope you get to spend the rest of your weekend with people you love, people that care about you. And we'll see you next Sunday. We're having our klezmer Q&A. Monday, Tuesday, which is tomorrow and Tuesday, we're doing our applied klezmer workshops. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you again, Ken, for coming.
Thank you very much.
It's very, very fun to play music.
It's great to be here.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your week. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Da, 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 da.